We have to discuss an unfortunate incident that is occurring outside of, well, not outside, inside of the Twin Cities, and it's quite frankly, it's shaken up that community, it's shaken up the people of Minnesota, and I'm making a prediction here, because I know we're still a few months out from Easter. You're gonna hear about it when you go to Easter. You're gonna hear about ICE enforcement. You're gonna hear about all these sorts of things. You are gonna be interested in finding eggs. You're gonna be interested in, I don't know, like going to brunch with, your brothers, your sisters, your nephews, your grandpas, and whatever family you call family. You're going to be concentrated on that, but one of those family members is going to be asking you why exactly a Minneapolis woman was dead after an interaction with DHS. Reactions are pouring in from across the political map, ladies and gentlemen. On January 7th, today, during a large-scale immigration and customs enforcement operation in Minneapolis, Minnesota, described by the Department of Homeland Security as one of the largest enforcement actions ever, an ICE agent fatally shot a 37-year-old woman in her vehicle. According to an official DHS statement, the incident occurred when a group of individuals began blocking federal agents conducting targeted arrests, leading to a confrontation. DHS officials reported that the woman, identified in some accounts as one of the violent rioters, allegedly weaponized her vehicle in an attempt to ram and run over law enforcement officers, prompting an agent to fire in self-defense, according to their own statement. No law enforcement officers were injured in the incident. She was the only person reported injured by this entire situation. We're going to review some clips from the media, some clips from the news, because in situations like this, you got to pour over as much data as possible. Just like George Floyd, if you just go with like, oh, media narrative, this is like what I'm hearing, so this must be the truth. Oh yeah, he must have overdosed. There was no sign of fentanyl in his system. Obviously it was the cop kneeling on his neck, even though there was no bruising around his neck. You know what I mean? Like, you get into the really messy details of things, and then people immediately go like, oh, you're right wing or whatever, and it's like, no, I'm just fact interested, when a lot of you aren't, unfortunately. So in an attempt to be fact interested, I'm going to take you along a tour of the facts. I'm going to take you along a tour of this so that we can formulate a nice middle of the road opinion that's not going to be influenced by, we hate ICE and we're going to kill ICE agents, one battle after another, Leonardo DiCaprio or whatever, like nominated for Best Picture, definitely. And it's not going to be like, it doesn't have to go the other way of like, deport every single person, no path to citizenship. You know what I mean? We're going to formulate a nice down-the-road opinion of, hey, I'm a genteel American. I eat Pepperidge Farm like everybody else. I just want my tax dollars not to be stolen. I want to know that the people coming to this country love our country as much as my ancestors did. And I want to know that I'm living in a place where I know that my neighbors aren't going to be trying to rape my children. Isn't that like a not unfair thing to expect from society? Like, okay, folks, so let's begin this travel through multiple sources of media outlets. Let's begin with CBS News. Bing bong, play.
Good afternoon, and thank you for watching CBS News 24/7.
You're welcome.
I'm Lindsay Reiser. One person is dead following a clash between federal agents and protesters in Minneapolis. That is according to the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, I just told them.
DHS says ICE was conducting targeted operations in the southern part of the city when several people began blocking agents' cars. The department claims the victim, a 37-year-old woman, was one of the violent rioters who weaponized her vehicle and tried to run over agents. According to the Minneapolis police chief, she was in her vehicle, blocking the roadway. Federal law enforcement approached her on foot. She began to drive off. At least 2 shots were fired, and the vehicle then crashed. The mayor of Minneapolis says that she suffered a gunshot wound to her head and was pronounced dead at the hospital. And he disputes that she used her vehicle as a weapon and said, quote, the narrative that this was done in self-defense is a garbage narrative.
But looking at the video right over here, you can see her SUV like attempting to swift into these people. It's not like a cry of like, oh, this is ridiculous. She obviously didn't do anything. I would call that weaponizing a vehicle based on what I'm seeing personally.
Also said, ICE, get the bleep out of Minneapolis.
Yes, I love this part.
DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs says the ICE agent, fearing for his life, shot and killed the alleged perpetrator. Mayor Fry of Minneapolis says he does not have the identity of the agent at this time and says an investigation will need to be done. When asked whether the state will be able to file any charges, The death comes amid an influx of
I like that he's like, we're already going to file charges. We don't know whether or not he was acting in self-defense. We're going to file charges right now. It's just like it is literally just like the George Floyd situation. They're going to jump right into prosecuting the guy before he's even had his day in court. They're going to turn the media against him so that any jury that gets thrown on this case is immediately going to feel like, oh, I'm not going to be safe to go home if I find this person not guilty, despite if the facts are heading in their way. I'm worried personally. If you're in Minneapolis, I mean, dodge jury duty, because you could be one of these people.
1,000 law enforcement members into the Twin Cities metro area. The city's mayor is calling, as I mentioned, for those agents to leave and saying that they are trying to...
This is the cutest thing. He was like, get the fuck out of our city. Get the fuck out. And I'm like, oh my God. We'll watch his silly words in a minute.
...solve a problem they created themselves and causing chaos and distrust. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call is following this for us. Chanel, there is a plethora of video on social media, of course. We as a news organization are going through that and seeing what we can verify.
Indeed you
we
are.
don't know exactly which videos Mayor Fry saw, which leads him to say that this was not self-defense.
In all honesty, that's exactly why it took me so long to actually get this video up and get it, like, record this episode, because I was poring over the information. I don't want to get this. I don't want to come across in the first, because, guys, this is like if George Floyd, the day that he died, I had to create an episode. I have to know exactly what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have immediately went ahead and said, yep, Derek Chauvin's guilty. I mean, maybe I would have, because admittedly, back in 2020, I was way farther left, way farther left than I am personally now. I was in high school, you know what I mean? I was learning the ropes of what this world actually means. You know, I didn't actually have a meaningful job at the time, you know what I mean? It really influences a person's opinion when they actually get out in the world and, you know, do things as opposed to just kind of reading articles and whatnot. But that's exactly what took me so damn long to get this video recorded, is because I was watching so many goddamn videos. I want to make sure that I'm not putting out a bullshit take. I'm not feeding you guys bullshit. I genuinely, from what I have observed, from what I've seen so far right now, this woman did attempt to weaponize her vehicle, and I, looking at it from like a federal agent's perspective, totally understand why you would suppress the danger. You would end the situation. Not saying that maybe it was the right call, but based on every video that I'm seeing, it doesn't seem like he had any that many other calls to make.
But what can you tell us about the videos you're seeing?
Yeah, there is a lot of video showing up on social media, Lindsay, and some of it is purporting to show the moment that those shots rang out in that South Minneapolis neighborhood. Again, we are working to confirm and to verify that video before we can share it with you, but I do have two new videos that have been verified from our CBS News teams that I can share with you right now that show the aftermath of that shooting. So take a look at this. You can see that there were ICE agents sort of lining the snowy street, and then you see them kind of...
Yeah, the woman's car is crashed into a tree. As though that happens if you don't have really poor intent towards the people that you're driving at.
Pulling out this person from the car. They seem to be then performing CPR on this person, of course.
Which is a waste of time, in my personal opinion. You shot her in the head, man. Just call her good. Call her good. When they shot Osama bin Laden, do you think they went and gave him mouth-to-mouth?
You know, the camera is going back and forth. You can imagine this was...
And yes, the media, if people actually listen to the show, they would have clipped that and they would have said, oh, your brain on air host, Ollie Larson compares Minneapolis shooting victim to Osama bin Laden. That's not what I said. What I said was, if you are acting in the line of duty, you're going to come across people where if you shoot them and, you know, you went ahead and you tried to kill them when you shot them and it looks like a headshot or it looks like, no arteries, no saving that one. I'm saying, what's the point of jamming your hand on their chest and contaminating the scene? I just don't understand. Like, what benefit are you giving this woman? Whatever.
Quite a chaotic scene. But at the end of these videos, two things are true. You see them carrying this person away on their hands and feet. We also heard from a witness on the scene, Lindsay. I want to play for you part of that interview. Take a listen.
They were not allowing EMS to come with in a timely manner. They were EHS and them. They were blocking the roads and not letting EMS come with like time and like the ambulance.
He keeps calling it DMS. It's DHS. Get it right. Minnesotans, they're so cold that they can't. Their brains literally they freeze up. And they're like DMS, DHS. I corrected myself, but I'm gonna say DMS. Jesus.
They just kept the roads blocked for a very long time to the point the body had to literally get carried out the way it did.
Now, as for what happened in the moments that led up to this shooting, that's still what we're working to determine and to verify right now. But we did get a couple of different accounts of what happened. So let's start with what DHS is saying unfolded here in Minneapolis today. I'll share my screen with you so you can see this, and I'll read you part of this social media post, Lindsay. It says, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when riders began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent riders weaponized her vehicle, they say, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. It goes on to say that this is characterized by DHS as an act of domestic terrorism.
You could battery, assault, impeding an officer. You can charge her with all of that. Like, come on, domestic terrorism. Let's get real here.
Officer fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law.
This woman didn't have a bomb strapped to her chest. She was trying to slam into federal agents with what appeared to be, I'm going to be honest with you, it looked like a Camry. I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
Defensive shots. So a couple of key things coming out of here. We know there were multiple shots. That is what DHS is confirming. And then later on in this statement, they also say the alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased, also adding that the ICE officers who were hurt, they say, are expected to make full recoveries. Now, I was talking to you about how we're getting varied accounts of exactly what happened, because we also, just moments ago, Lindsay, heard from the city's mayor, we heard from local law enforcement, and they have a very different account of what happened. In fact, local law enforcement just moments ago said it doesn't appear that the person, quote, rammed anyone. The mayor, Lindsay, even calling the narrative that this was done in self-defense, quote, a garbage narrative.
And also, we're learning a little bit more about the woman. As I mentioned, she's 37.
The garbage narrative.
Senator Smith says that she's an American citizen. And
that is the craziest thing, is that this is Department of Homeland Security. This woman was a citizen. This woman was a resident of Minnesota who just so happened to get a little rowdy when her favorite empanada salesman was getting thrown into handcuffs, and she got a little upsetty Betty, and she went ahead and she acted a certain way, allegedly. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that whatever. But, didn't sound very much like she was cooperating with police in a very George Floydian situation.
So did learn in that press conference.
I'm curious if we're going to see woman shot by ICE agent Memorial Square anytime soon. I wonder if they're going to take this region of the city where this woman got shot, and they're going to turn it into an economic hellhole the way that they did with George Floyd Square, where he ended up dying. Now you see that neighborhood. I've been there. Just last year, it's crazy. The residents are begging the city to please send in send in actual police, send in the people. We are actually it's seriously, you're not sending in forces anymore. No one's defending our businesses. We're getting robbed daily. It's ridiculous. You can see on the news articles and whatnot down there, there's petitions being signed because the police, they've been limited on their numbers. They've cut at least 50% of their force over the last 5 years. So it's gone from 600 officers to less than 200. It's a ridiculous cut, and now they're not able to police and supply the certain regions of the city that are just kind of falling into ruin and decay, and it's disgusting. And I imagine that whatever this woman's name is, let's go with Sharon Babinski. Sharon Babinski Square is going to be a beautiful area where a strong independent female weaponized her vehicle for the justice and for the state of good to defend an innocent illegal alien from being taken in handcuffs by DHS. She was a hero. Sarah Babinski, did I say Sarah? Yeah, I think Sarah, I'm pretty sure. Sarah Babinski was a hero. She was an independent she was an abolitionist who believed in open borders. She didn't believe in borders. But she was a beautiful martyr for the cause. By the way, just a curious observation. If witches are a symbol of femininity and feminine independence and whatnot, and how they're so girl boss and whatnot, why are they always shown walking around with a broom? I don't understand that. It's the patriarchy in action, and I kind of love it. It's iconic. It's we cast the spells, we commune with the moon and whatnot, but we're ready to clean your house. We're ready to clean your house if you give us some what is it, Eye of Wart, or what is this shit that they always like say in the spell books and whatnot. Like, admittedly, they are powerful, they're sorceress women and whatnot and all that, but they're still subjects of the patriarchy, just like every other woman. Apparently, I didn't know that. This is according to their folklore, their literature, not mine. I want to get to Mayor Fry, excuse me. His last name is spelled Frey, so it bothers me. Frey. It's spelled Frey, pronounce it Frey. But he's like, no, it's Fry. I want to be like the guy from Philip J. Fry. I want to be like from what's it called? Is it Futurama? Yes, Futurama. I want to be like the guy whose dog he got frozen, so the dog stays outside of the store and like stays there forever. I will wait for you. He loves that episode, and he really wants people to compare him to Philip J. Fry. That's why he does the updo with his hairstyle and all that stupid shit. I'm hoping that he actually does get his head froze or like preserved. Like in that show where they have all the celebrities with heads in containers. I hope that we preserve Jacob Fry's head so that he can be a beacon of democracy, of a white guy who preserved heritage. Not his heritage, but other people's Somali heritage, and he just did his best for minorities and whatnot. Like, he'll be the new. He is. I'm sorry to say it, Jacob Fry. Fuck Malcolm X. It's Jacob Fry. Fuck Malcolm X. He was ridiculous. He was an extremist at heart. Jacob Fry is who we need to idolize and we need to teach children about. Speaking of which, let us take a look at this civil rights hero, this new Frederick Douglass, quite frankly. Let's hear his words about the ICE shooting today. Let's hear it, folks. I want you to hear it.
Local elected officials.
Yeah, I just told them that. Let's hear it.
There's a lot of information that is swirling around right now, and we collectively are going to do everything possible to get.
And I love that. He's like, I'm on it. Get 2 black people behind me. I need to show that I'm diverse. I need to show that I'm down with the blacks. I'm down with the Negroes and the Browns. Get them all behind me. I don't want one white lady behind me.
Get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead. And that she was shot by ICE.
Why didn't they cover, the Bondi Beach killer this way? What we do know is that some fella who took his firearm to the beach looking to have a fun day is dead. This gentle, radical Islamist was just looking to have a fun day at Bondi Beach.
We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in
He's going to blame it on ICE. He's going to go like, ICE is here, ergo, why wouldn't you kill him?
Minneapolis.
This is the logic of old West towns, like, Deadwood, South Dakota, or like the Oklahoma territories and whatnot. Like, you go back to the 1850s, and when a Pinkerton, like a federal agent guy showed up, it was rare. It was like this guy who had a badge on. You were like, oh, the United States government, that thing we still apparently all live in. Oh, this guy's just showing up. He says he represents the Fed. He showed me like this thing or whatever. It's like this energy of whatnot. He's like, ugh, these Pinkertons, these lawmen trying to come into our city and they're trying to get the illegals out of our city because we refuse to. You gotta shoot them dead in the streets. What's the only right response?
Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it.
Really?
They are not.
Yeah, you've been calling it. You've been calling it from day one with that no matter what, if ICE inevitably, because they're a law enforcement agencies that occasionally have to kill people in the heat of action, you were going to immediately, in the instant that this happened, you laid the groundwork. This is what you're going to reference. You laid the groundwork to immediately, no matter what the person did to warrant said bullets, no matter what the situation was that you are covering, it was instantly ICE's fault because they had the guilt of presence. They had the guilt of just being here. And if they weren't here, then nobody would be getting rowdy. It's like it's the argument for black crime. It's like if we just gave them all the shit they deserved after slavery, there wouldn't be any black crime. Well, that's not exactly accurate because they've been the main recipients of federal programs ever since then, and they don't seem to be benefiting from it. Their communities don't seem to be in any higher standing since we started doing all of this stuff. As a matter of fact, the fatherlessness rate only continues to go up. The single motherhood rate only continues to go up. All this kind of bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Just continue to throw shit at people with federal programs. Don't look at the success rate. Don't look at the success rate. It doesn't matter. What matters is you feel better because you're just funding shit. You're just funding things without thinking about it. And you're told that it goes to good hands.
Here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America.
Yeah.
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust.
Like there was any less chaos in Minneapolis during your entire tenure. We've had 2 congressmen shot while I was visiting the city last year. I'm just going to let you know. It was beautiful. The city itself was a beautiful sight and whatnot. I enjoyed the No Kings protests. They were cool to look at and whatnot. I wasn't joining them. They don't want me there. But, like, I was looking and whatnot. But, you know... As though ICE being here conducting their time is encouraging people to be any more violent on the streets than they were beforehand.
They're ripping families apart. Mm-hmm. They're sowing chaos.
Well, how long have those families had to correct their visa information? How many years has that mother been here?
On our streets, and in this case, quite literally killing people.
Yep.
So... they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense.
I love it. What do you mean already trying to spin it? You admitted you don't have all the facts. And I'm saying this. I don't have all the facts. I'm not telling you that I know for sure that this was this. These people are. Jacob Fry is telling you that what he knows. He's like, I know that this was an act of this woman. She was an innocent victim or whatever. And then the DHS is telling you we're for sure that this was an act of self-defense. I'm telling you that from the evidence that I've seen, I'm kind of leaning with the self-defense angle, but like... he's not going with any evidence or anything. He's just saying, well, they're going ahead and saying self-defense. He's not showing you any counter evidence. Unless, of course, he's going to get to the counter evidence, in which case I would like to open the floor to Jacob Fry.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit.
Which video?
This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying. Getting killed.
Killed.
As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course...
spin the media narrative.
Was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible.
The victim. Get the victim. Look at that. The language they use. You already know of the narrative that they're trying to sell you.
To the family, I'm so deeply sorry.
I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can say. Your daughter was a dumb shit who drove herself into a situation she chose to be in and got herself a bullet in the head for it. Sorry.
Right now, that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. Mm-hmm. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene.
ICE.
There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time.
I love that he does
that.
that.
Only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic. And
you could argue that having the police there, that's what liberals have been saying this whole time. They've been saying, hey, quit it with sending police when a mental person is going crazy. Send a mental health professional. Have a therapist talk down that person with a needle in your front yard.
And that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better. But I do have a message for our community.
Let's hear it.
For our city.
Go.
And I have a message for ICE.
Let's hear it.
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city...
By the way, Hilton, that one in Minneapolis that that was denying ICE agents the ability to stay there, people who work for DHS, they are now no longer a part of the Hilton industry. They have been cut from the ties. All of the Hilton stuff is being stripped from their brand and whatnot. So, maybe politics has nothing to do with who you rent a room to. Maybe that's what you should be going with if you don't want to lose your contract.
is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get.
Sure.
Next, a message to our community.
Our community. I love you. I'm here for you.
Look, we all know that.
I love when liberals, they make out with their audience. They're like, I love you. You are so important. Kamala Harris did this a lot on the campaign trail. You are so important. I love you. I love Chen Zi. Chen Zi, she said it like it was a waiter at her favorite Chinese place. I love Chen Zi. Chen Zi's one of my favorite guys. It's like, all right, relax. I know that you love my generation. Cool.
But the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos. Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion.
Rise up. You can rise like that steady erection of yours, my fellow Democratic liberals. Let's rise to the occasion with some Blue Chew. Let's rise to the occasion. Let's rise. Like, knock it off with this Trojan ad, you fucking skank. You political skank.
Who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion. Minneapolis, and it makes America.
That's the love and compassion I felt from you at the gay parade, Jacob Fry. I saw you in that cute little tube top.
We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country.
I love the moral grandstanding. One of my favorite things about left-leaningism is it's as bad as Christians. It's like, I'm just so much better than you. I'm just like so much better than you.
And ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that.
We're better than that.
And so we are going to meet that hate with love.
Love.
We are going to meet that despair with hope.
We're gonna meet the aggression with love, and you know what that's called? That's called rape. We're gonna rape these ICE agents. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mayor Jacob Fry is calling for you to do your civic duty. Get out in the streets of Minneapolis and like, if you see an ICE agent, you run at them, you tackle them, and you start stripping their fucking pants. And because you're gonna rape them. You're gonna rape them like you're their creepy uncle. I swear to God. Jacob Fry, ladies and gentlemen, do your civic duty. If you're a good Minnesotan, get out in the streets and rape them good. Because that's exactly what you need to do in order, according to Jacob Fry. This guy. I'm not saying that I want this. It's this guy. He's like going, I want to rape ICE agents. I want them to be out of our city. And if you're in our city, you're going to be met with the love and compassion that the Democratic Party is famous for, pioneered by individuals like Andy Dick and like Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein, long-term associate of the Democratic Party. Let's go ahead and let's just say, you're going to be met with the love that Minneapolis is famous for. If a city of brotherly love, that's Philadelphia's nonsense. This is the city of incestuous love, of incestuous 70 IQ Somali love.
We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves.
Yep.
And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create, and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us.
I'm going to give it the black lady grunt. I agree wholeheartedly. Folks, don't be hot under the collar about shit. I'm just going to say that.